Last week, a legal ruling in the UK decided that people who are born and assigned female at birth are the only people legally recognised as women in certain parts of UK law. And today, the Prime Minister's team have doubled down on that and said that he doesn't believe that trans women are women. And I want you to really think about that, like what that means. Not in theory, but in practice. It's being denied services. It's being erased from protections. It's being told, not subtly, but directly, that you are not valid. You aren't real and you don't matter. But here's the thing, we already know this. We know that governments start drawing hard lines around identity and it never, ever ends in the first group. They're coming for the trans community now, which is appalling as it is. But next, it'll be the gays, and then it'll be the women that speak out, and then anyone who steps out of line. And you think you're safe because it doesn't affect you. But history says otherwise, doesn't it? This is how it starts. Trans women are women. And if we don't defend that now, we'll be left wondering who's next. And then it'll be too late.
Biological man or a biological... I gotta be honest with you, I don't know where all the confusion is as I'm seeing the stories coming out of the UK that the Supreme Court said trans women are not legal women. Well, no, they're not. They are men. They are biological men. You got biological men, got biological women, and you got everybody else in the middle that just is trying to live their life to do whatever they want and be happy. And that's okay. If you are a boy and you want to dress up as a girl, then go for it. And if you're a woman and you want to try to be a guy, then go for it. But the rule of law is saying that you are not going to be identified as a biological man or a biological woman. And I don't understand what the problem with this is. Go out and do whatever you got to do, as long as you're not going out and hurting somebody else or putting your shit on somebody else to try to say, hey, you gotta be like me, or you're not cool, or you're not included, or you're not, whatever else bullshit comes along with it. My God, at the end of the day, you wake up and you're happy, you win. You go to bed and you're happy, you win. But it's okay not to be officially identified as a biological, whatever it is. You're a woman. You're a man. You go do whatever you gotta do as long as you're happy. And that's all that they're saying. They're not taking anything more or anything less away from you. It's just you're not going to get away with being identified as a woman if you are a man.
I am a woman. No. The problem is that people like you think they get to define someone else's identity based on their own discomfort. I am a woman. I didn't become a woman, certainly not to make you uncomfortable. I finally accepted who I am. I started living authentically because I almost didn't survive living any other way. Gender is not biology. It's not chromosomes. It's not what's in your pants. It's identity. It's experience. It's how we exist in the world. Trans women, for better or worse, do experience womanhood, often while being denied the safety and the dignity and the rights that cisgender women take for granted. Denying that I am a woman doesn't change anything. All it does is show that you have a very rigid and narrow definition of womanhood, one that likely excludes a lot of cisgender women too. Trans women are women. And if that's threatening to you, perhaps that says less about trans women than it does about you.
I have to get this off my chest. All the so-called feminists out there who are celebrating today's UK Supreme Court ruling over what a woman is, have you not thought for a second why there isn't a UK Supreme Court ruling over what a man is? Why is it just women? Why is it women have a legal definition, but nobody's defining what a man is? Whenever I hear a debate about trans issues, it's always regarding trans women, never trans men. Yet the same feminists, you might call them TERFs, who, campaign for women's rights and are appalled about certain NHS trusts, including words to make their policies more inclusive, like birthing person alongside mother, or chest feeding alongside breastfeeding. It's got nothing to do with trans women. Nothing to do with trans women. They are trans men having babies. But I never hear you talk about trans men. I only ever hear you talk about trans women. In fact, I only ever hear people talk about women and making laws about women. So why has the UK Supreme Court not mentioned what a man is? Why don't we need that determined by law? Or could it be that this is just another way of targeting women? Another way of getting women to fight amongst themselves, whether trans women or women assigned at birth or cis women or whatever the fuck you want to call us, because I refuse to be labelled as a washing powder. I am neither biological nor non-biological, nor am I hand-washed. All those feminists and women celebrating today haven't taken a second to ask themselves why it is just women that are being targeted by laws, and why it is women who are having their rights spoken about. Do you see the potential problem here? Because nobody's bothering to determine what a man is. Apparently we're all supposed to know.
It's definitive outside the Supreme Court. Men are men, women are women, trans women are not women, not just on paper, but in law. It is so seismic, I think, this judgment for women, that you could put it on a par with votes for women.
Today, the judges have said what we always believed to be the case, that women are protected by their biological sex.
Whew, it's been a minute since I made a video like this. Yes, you did hear that correctly. The UK passed a law saying that trans women are not biological women and are not protected as women. This actually runs way deeper than people may think. First, obviously, I'm in the US and we are not far behind this. Like, honestly, with the current administration, I see this happening, which is so scary, and it should be scarier for cis women. And I'll go ahead and play by their terminology. What happens when a cis woman or a biological woman tries to go into the women's bathroom and is stopped by security, police officer, etc., and it's like, oh, you don't look like a woman. And then they take you into questioning or try to arrest you and could probably do a very unlawful search, if you know what I'm saying. I think you guys know what I'm alluding to, and this should be very apparent, especially by how things are looking in America. This is something to consider. Women, biological women, are not going to be protected under anything like this. Oh my gosh, we got our bathrooms. It's only women-only bathrooms. No. This new law just put millions of women in danger. It's so bizarre to me that more people aren't realizing just how much more in danger biological women are going to be. You guys voted for this and did this thinking, oh yeah, it's gonna protect us. What? No, because under a government like this, like the US, like the UK right now, they're going to twist it. People are going to twist this. It always runs deeper. So my heart goes out to any trans women that are in the UK right now. You're a woman in my eyes. You're a woman in many, many people's eyes. Do not let this discourage you. I hope you are still able to find a safe space. And honestly, as the LGBT community whole, we all need to be in a pact right now. We all need to stick together. Because if this is happening, Imagine what's next.
Trans women are now not legally recognised as a woman. I'm a trans woman and I want to talk about it if that's okay. This new law isn't going to protect or help anyone. People can now stop and say to you, you don't look like a woman to me. Are you a biological man? Women are going to have that. I'm sick of being blamed for men's behaviour time and time again. A man doesn't have to put on a dress and a wig to go into a woman's space and do something bad. They can do it anyway. If you don't know what goes into transition, it's not just a switch that we flip. I had to be legally diagnosed with gender dysphoria. I had to go through a psychological evaluation. I have had 8 surgeries. I had to prove myself time and time again to get my gender recognition certificate, which I got earlier on this year. To now be told that I'm not legally recognised as a woman. I get married this summer. Sorry to make it about me, but I get married this summer. And I don't know if that means I'm getting legally married as a man or a woman, which really sucks. Also, something else I want to point out, they want us to use the toilets that aligns with our biological sex. So trans men, women who transition to men, look very much like men. Beards, you would never know. So that means they should then use the women's toilet, which means men can just walk in and say, I'm a trans man, I was born a woman, I should have been here. It's not making anyone safer. And that's the most frustrating thing. It's going to put more women and girls in danger. It's going to put trans people in danger. This is not the end. It's just the start of what they're trying to do. It is discrimination. I understand some of the trans community haven't helped the situation. Fuel has been added to the fire by them. If you take anything away from this video, it's that this isn't benefiting women. It's not making women safer or girls safer. It's going to make them more prone to judgment and criticism from strangers, because if you don't look like what someone thinks a woman should be, you're going to get challenged on that. That's what this ultimately means for women. I'm lucky.
The UK Supreme Court ruling that trans women are no longer legally women is terrifying. They're trying to frame it as a win for women. It's not a win for women. It's not a win for cis women. It's not even a win for transphobic women. It's an attack on all of us. I'm so sick of cis women being used as the excuse to attack trans women in the name of protecting women. No, you're not. This is infringing on all of our rights. This is an attack on all of us, and it's the same people who don't give a shit about women at any other time than this, than to use it as their excuse, like, oh, we're standing up for women's rights. No, you're not. You're infringing on women's rights.